Today, we're diving into the shocking scandal that rocked Hollywood and the college admissions system. Lori Loughlin's involvement in the infamous college bribery scandal. From beloved TV mom to federal convict, Lori's story is one of greed, privilege, and consequences. Let's break down how Lori went from Full House fame to serving time behind bars. Lori Loughlin is no stranger to fame. Born in 1964, Lori's rise to stardom began with her role as Aunt Becky on the beloved sitcom Full House, which aired from 1987 to 1995. Lori's warm, relatable character quickly made her a fan favorite, and she remained a staple in Hollywood with roles in Fuller House and the When Calls the Heart series on Hallmark Channel. By the 2010s, Lori was one of America's favorite TV moms, living a picture-perfect life in the public eye. But little did we know, behind the scenes, Lori's world was about to come crashing down in one of the biggest college admission scandals in history. In March 2019, Lori Loughlin and her husband, Massimo Giannulli, were arrested as part of a massive FBI investigation known as Operation Varsity Blues. The scandal was a nationwide shock. Wealthy parents, including celebrities, had been caught bribing their children's way into prestigious colleges like USC, Yale, and Stanford. Lori and Massimo's involvement was one of the most talked-about aspects of the case. They allegedly paid a whopping $500,000 to have their two daughters, Olivia Jade and Isabella, falsely portrayed as members of the USC crew team, a sport they didn't participate in, to secure spots at the university. It was a blatant case of privilege and corruption, one that exposed how far some wealthy families would go to get their children into elite schools. The news of Lori's arrest spread like wildfire, and the media couldn't get enough. Celebrities, influencers, and ordinary families were all shocked by the extent of the fraud, how a TV star and her designer husband, who seemed to have it all, could be involved in such a criminal act. But what made this case even more unbelievable was the number of powerful people involved, many of whom had been living a life of deception for years. The legal fallout was swift. Lori and Massimo faced charges of conspiracy to commit mail fraud and honest services mail fraud. If convicted, the couple could face years in prison. Lori pled not guilty at first, but the pressure continued to mount. As the case unfolded, Lori faced public humiliation and intense legal battles. At the same time, her family's reputation was in jeopardy, and her career, especially with Hallmark, hung in the balance. So, how did this happen? Lori and her husband, both successful in their own right, were already living an extravagant life. They were wealthy, influential, and seemingly above reproach. But when it came to securing spots for their daughters at USC, they decided to take things to the extreme, using their money to cheat the system. In August 2020, after a long legal battle, Lori Loughlin finally agreed to a plea deal. She pled guilty to one count of conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud, admitting to her role in the college admissions scandal. In exchange, she received a 2-month prison sentence, a $150,000 fine, and 150 hours of community service. Her husband, Massimo, also pled guilty, and he was sentenced to 5 months in prison, along with a $250,000 fine. Both Lori and Massimo served their time in federal prison. Lori spending 2 months at the Federal Correctional Institution in Dublin, California, while Massimo served 5 months in a prison in Lompoc, California. Lori was released from prison in December 2020, and while her time behind bars was brief, the damage to her public image was lasting. Her reputation as a wholesome TV mom was shattered, and she faced an uphill battle to regain the trust of her fans and colleagues. But she wasn't the only one affected. Her daughters, Olivia Jade and Isabella, also faced public backlash. Olivia Jade, a popular YouTube influencer, lost brand deals and faced severe criticism for being involved in the scandal. The scandal exposed the darker side of the college admissions process, revealing how some of the richest families were willing to cheat and manipulate the system to guarantee their children's success. But for Lori, it wasn't just about the crime. It was about the loss of her career, her reputation, and her image as America's favorite TV mom. After serving her time, Lori began the slow process of rebuilding her career and reputation. While Hallmark dropped her from their TV projects, she's since taken steps to re-enter the public eye. Lori has kept a low profile, but she's making her way back, slowly regaining her footing in Hollywood. It's a reminder that while fame can be fleeting, redemption is possible, though it requires time, humility, and a willingness to make amends. So, what's the takeaway from Lori Loughlin's scandal? It's a cautionary tale about the length some people will go to secure privilege for their children, and the consequences that come when they think the rules don't apply to them. Lori's fall from grace may have been swift, but her attempt to rebuild her life shows that even when you make a huge mistake, it's possible to come back from it. Her story serves as a reminder that no one is above the law, no matter how much money or fame they have.